Welcome back to the Aligned Self. Today we're going to be discussing your needs and understanding where needs come from and how to get those met, and just creating an awareness around needs. And this is not to speak about neediness or desperation, but it has to do with your absolutely valid meeting of needs in this life and in your relationships. So welcome. I am a therapist and I'm here to shed some information on some topics relating to yourself and your relationships, helping you be aligned. And this is in no ways trying to give you advice or telling you what to do, but just to create awareness. So your needs come from a place that is very core. I think that's the main word, core. In other words, you are a system that is designed to go out into the world and meet others and meet the environment and experience life. And in that process, your own blueprints, your own personality structure is felt through your thoughts and your body with regards to what you desire more and what you like more, and why did you choose that type of coffee instead of a different type of coffee? Why did you choose that book instead of a different book? These all come from your preferences and they're based in your values. And so we all have these. And when it comes to intimate relationships, often growing up, many of us have learned to cut off our own desire. Life was more about other people and meeting their desires and needs. And so if we were parentified in any way, meaning our parents needed us to parent them and take care of them in whatever way, we've shut off from that part of ourselves inside that is expressive of our needs. And so we have to relearn that connection. We have to build that relationship with ourselves once again and get to know who we are. And that can be a really scary process. And a lot of us feel it could be selfish, right? If we've learned to people please and go to the external world to get love and what we have needed, we've overfunctioned in many of our relationship dynamics. And so we've learned to please. Now somebody's telling us to focus on self. Okay, well, doesn't that make me narcissistic? No, because you've already just asked that question, so that disqualifies that. It's a healthy self-regard for oneself, which means I'm regarding myself as a worthy person who matters and who's acceptable and who's safe in this lifetime. And therefore, my exploration into myself is worthwhile. And it has a place. It has meaning. And it can certainly be fulfilling, not only for myself, but for others in this lifetime too. And so my exploration into myself is one of recalibrating my body with my heart and getting comfortable once again inside your own skin, which means understanding stress, understanding your deeper dynamic around your sympathetic nervous system, dopamine, etc., and where you are aroused through your nervous system, and therefore also vigilant and on alert, and what your threat responses are. In other words, if I am constantly being hurt in childhood and I've developed perhaps some CPTSD or other traumas, what will happen is, as an adult, I'm always on the focus of the outside world. The outside world is threatening to my inside world. And so I have to develop a safety inside of myself. And this is done by repetition. It's done through daily exercises of knowing, where am I safe? Where am I accepted? Where do I matter in this life? And constantly writing that down and journaling those things. And getting used to your nervous system responding to what you're journaling, etc. What's also so helpful and useful is through others. Someone that you trust perhaps is learning to do something called co-regulate with them, where you go and you sit and you actually have good long eye contact and you raise your oxytocin and you bond with another, and they're there for you, and they're there for you tomorrow, and they're there for you the next week. This builds safety in knowing that I can express my needs with this person, and you know what? They're not leaving. They're not gaslighting, manipulating, deflecting, getting defensive. No, they're just there. They're just neutral. They're just hearing me and they're accepting me. And so this builds trust inside yourself once again, to know that your needs are valid. And little bit by little bit, you can start to ask for your needs to be met, because you now tuned into yourself and you can hear your own internal signals once again, and you are clearer as to what it is that you need. And because you've built a credit inside yourself, an emotional credit, a reserve, because you filled up your own love bank account, what happens then is, even if someone says no or rejects you, you've still got enough in the bank. And so you know you are okay, and you can go and look for those needs elsewhere. And you start to realize your worth, meaning just how valid you are in this life, and so you don't stand for behavior that is subpar, breadcrumbs, etc. You realize that's just a cycle I know. I'm used to putting others first. I'm used to others' needs getting met, but no more. I'm worthy of not just the breadcrumbs, I'm worthy of the whole cake. And that's a great place to get to. Thanks for being here today, and thank you for the subscription and liking the video and sharing it where you can. I'll catch you in the next one.